Welcome to today's Forex live stream. In today's live stream, what we're going to basically be doing is breaking down multiple different charts and giving you a leg up for the rest of the trading week. So if this is the first time you're tuning into our channel, my name is Israel. We basically focus on this channel about learning, teaching our students, basically teaching people like you how to make Forex profits from the Forex markets. So as you can see, you should be able to see my charts right now. We're basically going to start to unpack some of the different currencies and basically talk about what's happened so far this week, what's happened basically, including yesterday, which was my day off from trading during the week, or my day off, which ultimately is a day off from trading as well. And we're ultimately basically going to get into what I think is going to happen for the rest of the week. So if you're joining me here on this free live session, make sure you hit the thumbs up. It literally tells YouTube that this is a good piece of content and they should show it to more people. All right. So what currency we're going to look at first today? We're going to look at the pound against the dollar, cable, and we're basically gonna basically pick up where we left off. So you might be able to hear that right now. If you are wondering what is that, that's basically a live news feed that basically feeds basically audibly the information that's literally hitting the market in real time. You can literally get a free trial to that service. It's in the link in the description box below, just for the record. If I don't want you to be wondering what is that basically that you can hear in the background. All right, so we're gonna look at the pound against the dollar first. This is starting with a 1 hour view. And ultimately what's happened, this was the currency we talked about from this week potentially going short. And when we look at the market, what's basically happened, let's go to a lower time frame ultimately. And we can see that from the 23rd, which was the start of the trading week, we highlighted these two areas down here with these black lines as potential areas that if we were going to take any sell positions going downwards, that this would be the first level of interest in regards to price trying to reverse. Well, surprise, surprise, what happened? Well, price hit this particular region on the 23rd and basically has subsequently decided to push up and hasn't really done anything in the opposite direction. And what I mean by that is, yes, it has moved down. You can see here it moved down. But what I mean in really like in specificities is it hasn't provided an opportunity for us to get in. So a lot of the time you might see this, like what would make us decide to potentially get into a position in this region? Nothing really in the bigger scheme of things. We can look to the previous price action, okay? And if we look backwards, like yes, price was moving down from here, but that wasn't really like the origin of the move. The origin of the move was really up there, pretty much. So it wasn't really an opportunity to get into this trade, and this is fine. This happens sometimes, and what you need to become like like comfortable with, excuse me, is being able to do your analysis on the weekend. If you go back to our weekend live stream, the longer live stream on the weekend, it's not in the description box, but just check our channel after the stream, you'll see it, where we basically talked about what way we thought the market was going. We did our analysis, all this kind of stuff. And sometimes you do analysis and it pans out. Sometimes it pans out, but you don't get an opportunity to get in. Sometimes it doesn't pan out and it goes the other way. And in those situations, when it doesn't do what you expect it to do, what you planned for it to do, there's two options you can really take. Okay, and they're really simple. Number one, you can just do nothing, which is fine because ultimately you're protecting your trading account. You're not trying to take trades that are counterintuitive to your analysis you've done, which is always a good thing in a lot of ways, pretty much. In most case scenarios, I think most people agree with that. But at the same time, your Forex trading account, the money in your trading account is the most important money in trading for you. I know a lot of people make the mistake of not realizing that and thinking that, you know what, the most important money is the money that is coming in, basically. But really and truly, no, it's the money that is in your trading account which is the most important. The second thing you can do is you can say, okay, cool, I did my analysis, the markets are going opposite to what my analysis has determined. Now I'm going to be wise as I react basically to the market. And if the market, for example, on this scenario, decided to highlight, just to bounce off this level that we had actually highlighted from the weekend, and then started to push up. Then it's like, okay, cool. Where are we going to get trades on to potentially go the other way? That's something you can do. I don't make I'm not the biggest fan of doing that. I'm not opposed to like changing my analysis midweek and stuff like that. There will come a time for that. You have to do that at some point in trading, but I'd say just be cautious with it. So it's really interesting because when you think about, maybe I won't say it now, I'll talk about it more in like later when I discuss later currencies. Another thing that I might as well mention that as well is Forex Factory. I normally say, look, this is what you do first and foremost before you get into the charts. I have tried to make a habit of doing that. The reason I didn't really focus on it and plan not to focus on it is because at this point in time, most of the important news is basically done for the day. So it's really not that significant in regards to actually looking at it. But ideally, what you'd want to do is you want to look at the economic calendar, forexfactory.com. Pretty much most of your brokers will have the same the same kind of scheduled news releases. I've kind of alluded to the live news feed already in today's live stream, today's show. You may have heard it already. They will periodically come through and basically just flood you with the information with what's about to happen. And stuff like that. So it's really beneficial. It's better than me having to literally switch tabs when I'm able to look at the markets in regards to what the data is, etc. Okay. Let's go to the euro yen. Now, this has been a really interesting one because this was one we decided on the weekend that we're looking for a short position. Okay. Now, that's fine. Similar to the pound against the dollar, this market has spent most of the week pushing up as well. We'll go to the 1 hour time frame in a minute, but the reason I'm saying that is because the reason, let me just let him finish talking. Okay, cool, he's done now. So the reason I'm highlighting that is because you're going to see that although the market has gone like overall in the opposite direction to our analysis, it still provided opportunities. If you go back to the previous live streams we did to start the week, the first day of the week and the second day of the, or the first and second full trading days of the week, you'll see that we were highlighting that yes, the market was going in the opposite direction, but it was still providing us opportunities to enter the market in the direction we wanted to go based on the levels we had actually drawn up in advance. So it's good when you think about it from that perspective. Now the euro yen has been very similar in a sense. So if we go back to the 23rd, when the market basically opened, pretty much, the price did push up, okay? And I remember I highlighted this area right here, if I remember correctly, I believe it was here, as a potential opportunity. I basically gave a solid lesson earlier in the week about a trade I basically took in this region. It was talking about entries and how the entry I'd actually taken on at that particular area wasn't the right kind of entry to take, and the stop loss wasn't placed in the right place. And I was basically just highlighting, but I looked just by simple changes, simple tweaks that you can make. Okay, it's not due to the market, it's not due to something else. It's internal. It's internally that you have to make these changes. They can have big ramifications on the amount of profits you make, the kind of success you have, the profitability you have in forex. So it's important that you understand that. Okay, so price has basically been pushing up, and it hasn't given us. This was one opportunity that, if handled correctly, would have been an opportunity. Like I said, I broke this down in the previous live stream. I think it was the last live stream on the channel, if you want to watch it after the stream, where I was basically breaking down the opportunity. And subsequently, price has been moving up, and price basically decided to cap at this region right here. Now, unlike the pound against the dollar, this is different. Why is this different? Because now we can go to a higher time frame, and when let's zoom out. Okay. When we move out, what do we see? When we're looking back previously, okay, we can see that in this region previously, price had basically decided to bounce from this region. So what you need to understand is, this is like, price could move all of this direction, But this is what we call long term, okay? Long term trading. In a sense, if I was going to take a sell position up here at 121, okay, 121, 130, and I'm saying, you know what, I think overall the market may get all the way down to here, to 117. What we're talking about, 400 pips. The live news feed just talking about quantitative easing hitting the market, okay, aka market manipulation. So we're talking about 400 pips potentially. Now, 400 pips in one day is unrealistic. It could happen. Like, don't get me wrong, it could happen. Timing is everything in a lot of ways, but you have to understand that 400 pips. If I was to take a sell position up here and a stop loss up here somewhere, just taking into factor all of this stuff previously, I'm saying, look, I'm taking a trade all the way down to this target down here, 400 pips away. I wouldn't be expecting that to close out in one day. Okay, I'll be expecting that to potentially drop down in one day, for example. Maybe drop down a little bit more. Then basically push up a little bit. Then basically move down a little bit more. Okay, you get the point ultimately. That's what I'm trying to show you. So this isn't something that's going to be happening like every day. But what you have to understand is we do our analysis, okay, so once we know what way we're going, now it's just about finding opportunities. It's about finding entry points and stuff like this. Okay, so now that we've seen this, what are we doing next? Well, let's do this. Let's zoom in now. Let's go to a 15-minute and see what price was actually doing in that particular region. And let's see if it makes sense. If a trade opportunity actually makes sense. So we want to put our stop loss, obviously, at least above the price action at a bare minimum. And I want you to see something. So look at what price is doing right now. Or let's look at this, for example. So price is pushing up. Price hits this region, barely touches it. And look at, let me do that again. And look at all of this. Really, 1 candle, 2 candles, 3 candles, 4, 5, 6. There's a handful of candles there that are all similar in price action. Okay, really tight. What does that provide us with? That provides us with a potential entry opportunity. We've ascertained that the market's moving down long term. We've ascertained that we're looking for a short position. Now we've ascertained that this is a potential area that price may turn around based on what we just showed you a moment ago in regards to previous trading activity that based on this level. Okay. Here. Now what do we do? Just like if this was a trade like in real time that you were trying to observe, you'd say, okay, cool. My stop loss is obviously going to go above. You can see right now, 15 pip stop loss potentially. And then look at this, for example. We mentioned this area right here. If our stop loss is anywhere within that region, now we need to get like 3 times our risk to reward, basically, just basically that's how I trade. And look what we're at already. The target, look, see it right there, 3.2. Okay, Stefan Bidias is saying you don't understand. Okay, what don't you understand? And I'll try and unpack it for you in a more simple way. Let me know in the comment section what you don't understand specifically, and I'll try and make you understand it. Right. So just leave the comment, and I'll try and help you out that way. But look at where I'm underlining red. Look at the number, it's changing, right? We want at least 3 to 1 risk to reward ratio. So look, right now it's at 3.07. That would be the bare minimum. Look at where price is. Look at what price action is doing in this particular region. Where 3 to 1 risk to reward is, price got there. Okay. What about 4 to 1? We move down, 4 to 1 is right here. Okay, 3.99. Price is moving down, hits 3 to 1, comes back up, doesn't go anywhere near the stop loss, where it would be, goes down more, comes back down. This is where 4% is. I mean 8%, 4 to 1. Okay. Let's go down even further. Let's look for 5 to 1. Look, 5 to 1 risk to reward ratio. 5 to 1 is right here. Price is still dropping. So the reason I'm highlighting this for you is because I'm trying to get you to understand that, look, even though price didn't ultimately do so far, overall what we expected it to do, what we did on the weekend. Okay, go back and watch that live stream after that, after this live stream from the weekend, the longer live stream we did on the weekend. And we talked about this moving down. But the fact of the matter is, it's been going up, but it's still providing an opportunity with the long-term momentum, because that's how the markets generally are. Markets don't just go all in one direction, okay? They generally are going to go in the direction of the long-term momentum. That's why it makes more sense to kind of trade in that direction usually. But the fact of the matter is, at the same time, even if price is going contrary to the long-term momentum for a week, which is not like, oblivious to do, in that position, you can basically like still get a trade opportunity, like I've just shown you. A good one that's actually moved at least 4 times, at least 4 to 1, basically just on the trade. Hi Fortune, thanks for joining me. Make sure you hit the like button if you're happy to be here. But does that make sense? Like what I've basically talked about, does it make sense? I know someone said they didn't understand. I'm still waiting to see if they're actually going to come back and basically say what they don't understand. But the point I was just breaking down for you is, we do our analysis on the weekend, okay? On the weekend, this is what you need to get in the habit of doing. You plan, okay? You plan what to do on the weekend. Then what you do is, you execute during the week. You execute what the market, what you believe the market was going to do on the weekend. Fortune's asking what time frame I use. Well, if you've watched this live stream for any amount of time, you'll see exactly the time frames I use. We've done a video on our channel recently as well about the best time frames to use. It's not in the description box, but if you check our channel, if you're watching this on a replay at a later date, it will probably most likely be in the description box for you to watch. But we use multiple time frames, and that's the mindset we've had for multiple years. And I go by the analogy of, instead of like, it's like a lawyer saying, look, I only want to use a certain piece of evidence to win the case. If you can do that, then obviously in a lot of ways that you might be a super skilled trader. But the fact of the matter is, I see myself as a lawyer that I want to use all of the information to win my case. And the case in this example is the trade. The evidence in these examples is the time frames, the information. I want to use information based on different time frames. So you'll see me basically, only click on the like button if you like it, but hopefully you do like what we're teaching here. So, but you'll see me flick through different time frames: daily, 4 hour, 1 hour, 15 minute. 15 minute, as you can see here, is generally going to be what I like to call my money time frame, like the execution, basically, where I'm going to basically try and enter the market from that time frame. But it's all combined together. We use all of the time frames together to basically put things in the best position to actually get into a trade. Okay. So that's the euro yen. Let's look at, okay. So Stefan saying, oh, I seen you were seeing what's the market were doing before place your position. Okay, yeah, basically, yeah. I'm basically analyzing this, we're on a theme basically over previous live streams to get you prepared, like I was just talking about on the weekend. You get prepared on the weekend, and then what you basically do is, when the market is actually open in real time, we're taking trades based on the analysis we did on the weekend. So we're making decisions based off logic when the market's closed, not based on emotion, when we're literally seeing the market tick up and down and basically cause us to make decisions. So what I was basically highlighting here on the euro yen and previously on the pound against the dollar so far in today's live stream is that you can put yourself in a position where even though the market may not go in the direction like overall for the week that you may have thought the market's going to go, generally because you're trading likely in the with the long-term momentum from the higher time frame, okay, it's going to put you in a position to be successful. So if you look at the daily, you can see that generally, apart from the last couple of days, this week price has been moving down. Okay, price has been, it was pretty much for a long time in a range between these two particular regions. Our price was actually moving down. Price is still moving down. Price basically bounced from this particular region and moved up. Okay. When do I do live teaching? Is it every day? Well, pretty much I would say yes. For the last, pretty much starting this week, we've been going live every day. The plan is to kind of do more live streams every day, just to kind of help people like you that are trying to learn the Forex markets get a leg up and learn exactly what to do. Okay. Ultimately, like I said, just continuing on with what I was basically saying, we're going back to look 2018. What has price been doing overall? Moving down, right? Who can see that since 2018, price has been moving down? Let me know in the comment section if you can see that. Okay. Now we look, does that mean that price doesn't move up? Yes, price does move up. It does provide opportunities to go in the opposite direction. Okay. Because why? People in the downwards momentum are taking profits. I'm not going to be long-term trading exclusively in the sense that I'm just going to take a sell position up here, sell, watch the market move down and have my take profit down here. I'm doing it in a situation where I'm trying to make money for my family every single day. I'm trading. Okay. So if I'm coming to the market, I'm not guaranteed to take a trade, but if a trade opportunity arises, I want to take it and I want to try and make money. And we're going to use the 15-minute, the 1 hour time frames, 5-minute time frames, 3-minute, 2-minute time frames for entries. So we can put ourselves in a position where we're not trying to take 400 pips out of the market in one day because it's unrealistic. We'll try and take 50, okay, 60, 100. Last week, we had a nice good trade with over 100 pips. Okay, and one trade in one day. So I hope that makes sense. Okay. Fortune says I got up to your videos has helped me a lot. Thank you. It says I got up 850 pips since Monday. I use the daily time frame. Okay. What I'd suggest, if everything's working for you, then I really don't need to change anything. That's my opinion. Ultimately, you can always fine tune things, but if that's working for you to that level, then just keep doing it. Ultimately, if you want to try and develop it even better, I'd say you can factor in different time frames and stuff like that to get nuance, like understanding of what the markets are actually doing. Just if you want that piece of advice, let's look at the euro, okay, or let's look at the USD JPY. In fact, because this one is a really interesting one, in the sense that the things that it's actually been doing this week has actually been quite interesting. Okay, because what did it do? This was another one we decided, US dollar, we said, we expect this market to move up. Okay. Most of the currencies we were saying we're looking for short positions. But because of the US dollar gaining immense amount of strength, we said, you know what? This upwards momentum recently has pretty much wiped out all of the downwards momentum previously. So we're saying, look, we want to focus on trading in that direction ultimately. Now, for the most part, what has price done basically this week? Let's look at an hour chart, hour time frame. we had highlighted this region. Price had actually provided an opportunity. Okay, we discussed, we've gone too far. 23rd. Okay, we highlighted this region. We discussed the potential trade opportunity with this trend line, and you can see this isn't coincidence that we just drew this on the weekend, if I remember correctly, and how price, we had a level in this particular region. If you go back and watch the previous live streams, and you'll see it basically how price faked out in this particular region. Even if you lost 2% in this particular region, price continued into this region here, which we highlighted as a stronger area. Price pushed up, and look, we had highlighted this region in advance, and is it a surprise that price decided to hit this area? No, it's not. Okay, this is what doing things ahead of the time can actually benefit you with. Basically, it's about just being wise. And I'm not going to basically break this trade down again. If you want to see that, just go to one of the previous live streams, probably from 2 days ago, where we talk about this. But notice what's happened. We just talked about it on the euro yen as a trade opportunity. What else? Yes, price has been moving up. It's provided at least 2 opportunities for you to trade to this higher level where we had this black line on. But what else have we noticed? We've noticed that price has topped out in this particular region. This week, price has just said, okay, no. Let me draw them on again. This week, what has price said?
House Speaker Pelosi says believes there will be strong bipartisan votes for the coronavirus legislation on Friday.
Look at this going back to the start of the week. You can see here. We go back to the 23rd, okay, where the market pretty much opened. And what have we seen? One time. You could say that's 2 times. 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times. Price has said, this is the top. You see why it's important to have these kind of areas in advance and say, okay, cool. We may be looking for a long position. We're trying to trade to higher levels. But where is the price likely to potentially stop or even potentially reverse? And for those of you who are, I'll get to that question in a minute, Stefan, but for those of you who are basically willing to just be aggressive, what you'd be doing in these areas is selling. You'd be willing to sell at least, because you'd be saying, okay, cool, we've done our analysis, we think the market's going to go up. This is the potential first area of price that we're saying, okay, cool, price is basically going to bounce off. It may completely reverse, it may just blow through the area, but this would be the first level of interest for you to potentially sell if you're going to look to close, like reverse the position. But you'd be trading up to these regions during the week with these opportunities. And obviously we've highlighted 2 areas of potential opportunities already. One was literally down here, the other one was here. Okay, so this is what you have to get comfortable at doing. The more work you do ahead of time, the easier trading will be for you, I promise you. Okay, and price has basically bounced off the final time and said, look, we need to forfeit some of those gains. Why? I mentioned this previously, because people are taking profits. Okay, let's go to, let's look out, let's branch out a little bit more and notice. Look what's happening right now. Look at this. This is from last week, from the weekend, or this from the weekend to start the week. But look what price is doing in this particular region right now. Why is price doing this? in this anonymous region here, because price is selling off. It's trying to find an area where, you know what, we're going to continue to take the profits, but now we're basically like looking for a place for the long-term momentum to continue up, but we're looking for somewhere where price can stabilize and not go any lower. Okay, we highlighted on the weekend that the US dollar against the JPY is trending well. Generally, for the most part, the USD JPY is a very well trending market. It's a well trending currency. This is why, so let me do this quickly. Look, this is why the market, you can see how it's moving up. This is why the market will do stuff like this. Not every market is going to do stuff like this, but the USD JPY is one of those currencies that generally, for the most part, the Aussie dollar is another currency like that. But don't mistake what's happening here. Whenever you're in a trade, you're buying. You have to look for places like this. Where's price likely to stop? You want to put your take profit before those levels. Okay, don't be greedy. Don't say, you know what, I'm shooting for the moon. I'm hoping for a breakout. You hope for a breakout so your target that's here can get taken out and you can bank your profits. Don't be greedy. Okay, it's better to have profit that closes out here than to have a take profit somewhere up here in the heavens, so to speak, and the market not go there and literally start to bounce back and do what it's doing like now. Okay, and yes, it may continue up, but that just means you're in a trade for longer. Remember, daily profits. This is why we use all of the time frames together to make our decisions. Okay, but look at this. Just look at this area. Look at why this is happening here. Is this coincidence? Some people will say it is. I don't believe in coincidence. Okay, part of that is because of just my Christian faith, but like when you see all of this stuff happen so much, like you have to realize that look, this isn't coincidence. This is like people are doing this. These are real people buying and selling, just like arranging the market in this way. Stefan says with another question, thanks for all the questions as well. If you've got a question, leave it in the comment section below. I'll try and get to it. He says, do you clean up after you've done the week or you keep the setup? No. So what you'll notice is, as we've been going, if you watch some of the live stream previously from this week, some things are still on. Notice, what have I highlighted? I've highlighted this region here. Price has obeyed this region. Price has continued to use this. So you see, for example, this trend line. Now, I don't mind taking it off. Why? Because the trend line has been deviated significantly. So once that happens, we react to what's actually happening. Okay, if price decides to shoot up and break through, like significantly, not like it breaks through like with a candle and then basically starts to come back down, okay, and stuff like that. Ideally, this should actually be red, but you get the point I'm trying to make. Basically, if price just does like a false breakout, as people would probably, I guess, generally call it, and starts moving down, I'm not going to necessarily get rid of this area here. But if price basically shoots through, then of course I'll get rid of it. So you see how, as the week's basically been going on, unfolding, certain things are basically taken off. Certain things I may add in now because we're looking at the market in real time and we're deciding, okay, cool, is this still legitimate? Is this not legitimate? Once the thing gets broken, once it becomes old, then you let go of it. Once we get to a new week as well, just to give you a bit more value about in regards to this stuff, is when you go to a new week, it depends what you've done this analysis of. So for example, if this region here, let me highlight for you, if this region here that's in black, if I drew this based off a 15-minute chart, I'd likely get rid of it by the next week because the 15-minute chart is such a low time frame. It's like these things come and go. They can be good one day, the next day they can be dead. Okay, because this is, what is this line based off? Let me show you. If you weren't here at the time, or if you don't remember, or if you're someone else, like for example, that's coming after the fact. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. Okay. Or that's even a bit. Let's go in a bit. Okay. Going back days, price has been bouncing from this particular region. If we go back previously, like price has been dropping from this particular region. So it's important you understand that when we do, like when we're drawing these kind of areas, these regions based on higher time frames, again going back to what I used, the analogy of the lawyer, when we go from higher time frames, we're looking at dailies, weeklies, monthlies, those kind of things, and we're looking for places that, okay, price broke out, where's the next level of significance where price was significantly rejected from. Those are really strong levels. They're really strong pieces of price action that we're gonna we're gonna respect. If I draw a level on a 15-minute chart and I say, okay, cool. Let me give you an example, like the euro, for example. Okay. If I, for example, I say, okay, cool, look, price has been moving up this week. If I say, okay, yeah, okay, look at what price did in this region. Price sold off a little bit. And then what did price do? Price decided, let's do this. Price sold off, and then price took off, right? So when price drops again, look what happened. This is 6 a.m. This is now, look, this dropped at 6 a.m. firstly. Look at the time here. This is about between 12 and 6. This is about 3 p.m. Okay. So UK session, started the UK session, and now we're into the US session. We did a video about how to make money in different trading sessions, the best times of the day to trade the Forex markets. It's not there right now. If you're watching on a replay, it'll be in the link in the description box. You can go to our channel, watch it after. We released it like last week or something. Okay, but it's similar to what I'm basically talking about now. But look what price did. What did it do? Well, it respected it a little bit. Why? Because earlier on in the day, there was like a huge uptick. But now it was like, okay, people have taken the profits. Okay, profits have been taken. They've pushed the price up. They've taken profits. All right, which is what you need to become habitual at doing. I don't mean running out of the market. I mean setting a take profit and actually taking the trade. And then what happens? Price pushes up, but that volume that was here to push it up, and that's a lesson for another day. Who's actually pushing the price up here? We talk about that in our free on-demand session. It's in the description box if you want to basically view that live session, on-demand session, sorry, after the live session. You can see exactly who's doing it and why they're doing it and how you can actually get ahead of it and basically be involved in that. But look, price in this particular region pushed up a little bit, all of that volume is gone. So it just breaks through. So this is what happens when you're talking about dealing with things based on a 15-minute, from a 15-minute window, opposed to a daily window. These 15-minute regions may be respected, but not clearly as significant. Because look, it breaks through, and then it can just goes about its business. If this was a daily, it's more likely that this level would hold, okay? Especially if it looks exactly like this, because that means specific people are actually doing that. A specific set of people, like again, like I mentioned, we talk about that in our on-demand session. That's in the description box. You can register for that if you haven't already, and actually and see exactly what's actually going on there. But hopefully that makes the point of basically what I'm talking about here. So any questions? Anyone got any questions? We've talked about a couple of different currencies. Going forward for the week, we've kind of highlighted as well, like what you should do. It doesn't matter if the price is going in a different direction based on your analysis. You can change the position and go the opposite way. If you're going to do that, just trade safely, because again, you're trading against the over long-term momentum. The second thing you can do is you can basically just still try and pick off opportunities in the direction you thought of, but you have to be wise. You have to be looking previously. Okay. Let's go to the 1 hour or 4 hour. You need to be going back previously and saying, okay, cool. Where are the levels? Where are the areas? Okay. Somewhere like this, for example. is that 110? Those are the kind of areas. Those are the kind of areas you need to focus on. Not guaranteed, but look what happened previously when price was here. Price had a big sell-off. We're coming out of a huge dip in the euro. Price has been pushing down since March, okay, since the 8th, since the 9th. So from that perspective, you have to basically bear in mind that and say, look, there has to be some sort of like pushback. Why? People are taking profits. Take profits are being hit. People want to bank the profits, especially in the time we're in right now. Like, people are very cautious, so they, although they may be moving the markets in certain ways, they want to basically bank the profits as well. So on that note, if there aren't any questions, okay, there's one question here. On a daily, what's the time frame? On a daily, okay, on a daily time frame, each candle, if this is the question you're asking, each one of these candles is 1 day's worth of trading activity. So this right here is today's trading activity. This is all of the overall trading for today. So that means overall today, price has moved up from here, which is the 108.50 region, okay, to just under the 110 region, 109.90, okay. It's moved up about 150 pips, okay. So the daily, each one of these bars, these candles, as we call them, candlesticks, is a day's worth of trading. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're on the 4th day of the week, so this is today, yesterday, the day before, and obviously the beginning of the trading week, full 24-hour trading week. So think about it like that. Okay, does that make sense? Let me know if this makes sense. Let me know in the comment section. Does this make sense or doesn't it make sense? What are the things you understand? What are some things you want me to basically discuss going forward on future live streams tomorrow, God willing, or on the weekend when I come back and do a live stream and we do some review or okay, let me move the camera up. What do you want to see specifically? Should be able to. You should be able to see right now, to be honest. I picked 250 pips euro on a buy. Okay, that's great. Hopefully you can do more of that going forward. So let's see. Yes, I guess it is. So you're using, so Stefan says, so you're using the daily 4 hour, 1 hour to trade. No, I use all of the time frames to trade. Basically, I'm using all of the time frames to showcase to me like what I believe the market's going to do. You're going to get, you use different time frames, they're going to give you different insights because they're tracking different amounts of time. So what someone's doing on, so what someone's basically doing in a daily view may look completely different to what's happening on a 15-minute view. Okay, so for example, you're going to look at when the lower time frames you get to, the easier it's going to be to basically see like price action in real time. Excuse me. So you don't want to just stick to. I don't agree. I don't advise anyway sticking to one time frame. I know there's people out there one time frame masters, one time frame like geniuses that they just say, look, this is it. I just trade the daily, or I just trade the 2 minute, or I just trade the 15. Like, my whole thing is I like to use all of the information to give me the best opportunity to make money. And over the years, from different people I've learned from, just from like becoming a teacher myself and trading my own personal style. One thing you need to understand is a lot of people don't talk about this as much. People don't like make trading their own. What I mean by that is I've spoken largely a lot about I want to have the opportunity to make money every single day. Now, I'm not saying you can't do that on a daily. You can with a daily time frame, but it's a lot more likely a lot more easier in a lot of ways, in my opinion, if you're using like trading from a 1 hour chart, for example. Why? Because there's 24 different candles every single day. That provides you with opportunity. The 15-minute chart, there's even more candles, okay? And that provides you with even more opportunity as well. Okay, so when you think about it like that, you're going from 24 candles on the 1 hour to then there's literally 4 candles for all 4 of those. So you times that by 4, you're talking about potentially over 100 candles, 120 candles. That's a completely different. So Stefan says, ATR, how to use it to find the right take profit. Well, you can use it. We're actually gonna produce a video about this really soon. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not already, so you get instant notifications when that video actually comes out. But the average true range is a great tool you can use. I don't use it in the way that some people use it, okay? Because at the end of the day, it's a particular type of indicator. Again, like I said, in the video that's going to come out pretty soon, we're going to unpack it in loads of detail. But you can kind of see, if you haven't like realized what I've been doing, I haven't talked about the ATR in today's live stream or all week. But you can see just by looking at price action, literally, you can look at these things and see on a day-to-day basis and say, okay, cool, like this is what the market's actually doing, etc. Okay, these are levels that we've drawn on and we're highlighting as potential areas to basically close it out, etc. and to be aware of. So you talk about it on the podcast. Yeah, I definitely do. What else? Let me see. All right, so look, if there's no more questions, yeah, I remember and I want to use it. Yeah, definitely. Like, you can definitely use it. It can help you a lot. Okay, so look, if there's no more questions, I think I'll just say thank you for tuning in for today's live stream. Another thing I'll say is make sure, if you haven't already, if you like what we talked about today, if you like this live stream, make sure you hit the like button, hit the thumbs up button. It's free, literally, and it's more encouragement to me to say, look, you know what, you guys, you girls that are viewing this like this stuff, I should do this more. Okay, at the end of the day, it doesn't cost you nothing to really just click that button and let me know, let YouTube know that this is actually good material. I could be doing other things at this time, but I've decided, you know what, let me give you even more value. So hopefully that helps. On that note, no more questions. So thanks for tuning in. Until next time, until the next live stream tomorrow, or the next video, which is also coming out tomorrow, God willing. See you again, and hopefully you have happy trading and you can actually make quite a bit of profits. Thanks and take care.